All right, in 3, 2. Happy New Year's, everybody! We're back and we're hyped for the Cho Nation podcast. It's me, your host, the Cho, as always. And unless some tragic accident or someone better takes over me, and you're pretty much stuck with me. Anyways, starting off the new year strong and hype. We're gonna close out last year's with an anime podcast for today. Okay, that's sounded a bit awkward. Well, fuck it. Who said this is like a professional podcast? Anyways, for my co-host for today and special guest of honor, please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's John. I'm an avid anime watcher, and I'm currently a moderator of this anime subreddit.
Do you have an alias you go by during the subreddit?
On the subreddit, I go by NotTheRealMorty.
Okay, then you can go to Reddit/anime and bother him after this podcast if he did a good job or bad job. So we're going to start the new year strong, and we're going to say goodbye to 2017 with how our thoughts was about the animes of fall 2017. So let me just pull up the list real quick. So what did you think about the anime from last season?
I really enjoyed this past season. There was a lot of shows that were interesting and fun. A few that kind of caught me off guard, and the general consensus, I really enjoyed the season. There's different shows for different people according to your taste. So I think the season really catered to a lot of different tastes.
Yeah, I can certainly agree with it because there's some exceptional gems for the season that I actually currently enjoyed. Let's put the disclaimer out there. So I'm not a professional in this, and I actually haven't watched too much anime. Actually, coming to this, I try to binge watch as much as possible. But there's some exceptional animes that we're gonna go down later on in the podcast. But for me, I'm not also like a huge disclaimer is that I'm not an advocate fan of like romance or shoujo animes. Like unless they done it really right, I don't fuck with it at all. I don't know. There's especially this season, there's a lot of romance anime that I've been noticing, and I'm not a big fan, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of romance anime this season. Romance is my favorite genre.
Yeah, you vanilla fuck.
Yeah, so I usually watch a decent amount of anime. At least I think it's a decent amount per season. Granted, I don't critique very harshly on what I watch. Everything I rate is based on pure enjoyment factor and how much I enjoyed the show.
All right, then let's just dive into it. So we're gonna have this unique section where it's our thoughts of the anime of last season based on its first initial episode and how it translated to the further episodes. For example, I would like to give a giant shout out to Inshiki or Inuyashiki, because that first episode was actually almost hooked me, and it had the nice feels bad, man.
I agree with that. So Inuyashiki went under my radar when the season first started airing, but a lot of what I pick up, if I don't look at it right away, is through what I observed through the subreddit and through all my Discord friends. So Inuyashiki gained a lot of hype after the first episode on the subreddit. So I let it pass about 2-3 more episodes before that hype kept building, and I decided to check it out, and they were right. The first episode was really something.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but it just had the key elements and key components of making you kind of feel bad for the guy. Jesus Christ! If you don't at least have a gut wrenching moment of oh, feels bad, man, dude. Why does your life have to be so shit? But fuck. Well, I was trying to spoil it much at least. But after that, it's just damn, what the fuck happened?
You couldn't end it on that first episode. You just seeing what the main character was going through is man, that's kind of a really fucked up life he's dealing with right now. But yeah, it is, it brought your attention. It's I want to see more.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, just something about that anime just didn't hit the mark too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, and also before we go dive further into this, I just want to say that we're strictly only talking about new animes, new titles. So anything that has to deal with the sequel or any season 2, season 3s, or even prequels to animes, we're not going to talk about those at all. Oh yeah, so next on the chopping board, actually one I actually do enjoy though is Mahotsuki Kai no Yomi, the magician anime.
The Ancient Magus Bride.
Yeah, the Ancient Magus Bride. Yeah. There you go. That's the English translation. Yeah, no, for me, I don't know. Like it's like there's like transitioning moments of the animation that actually gets me hooked on it, and especially because it's like I don't know why. I'm a sucker for like moe that I just don't want to admit. But there's like moments where like they're like the fucking skeleton dude. God bless my name memorization. But yeah, the main character. He at times in the anime he goes like full chibi model style.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. His faces.
Yeah, like his face is like it goes over like chibi style or overly moe style. Yeah. And I know I like it.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Like at first, you don't expect it, so it really catches you off guard, and then it kind of like just grows on you, sort of thing. Yeah,
but so and also that anime like it didn't fail from first episode onwards, right?
Yes. I'm not caught up on the anime, so I'm still trying to slowly work my way up through that one. But yeah, it's kept me interested. It kind of just fell on my backlog, sort of thing.
Yeah, dude, I'm like, like the reason why I found out about it is because I have a friend. He's really into the manga for this, right? He's like, yeah, man, you gotta go fucking watch this, but I never have time to watch anime, so I'm trying to binge watch it. I'm only at episode 6 too, so I'm not really finished with the season, but so far. It hasn't been bad. I got what I'm getting from the first episode, with minus the ending of the first episode, which is like kind of get that cringe factor. But other than that, like it's just smooth sailing from there on.
Yeah, I also like to know that it's still currently airing at the same time too.
Yeah,
it's a 2-course show, and right now I believe they're on episode like 13, 14. So if you're looking at picking up a new show that's not quite finished yet, this would be a good show to pick up.
Mm-hmm. And on the trend, so. The thing that also caught my eyes, right? Similar to that with Inuyashiki, it's this one about germs or gems. Let me just
gems.
Yeah,
I think you're referring to Hoseki no Kuni.
Yeah.
The CGI.
The CGI one.
Yeah. Oh, that caught me off guard too. That was I picked that one off of when it sounded interesting. I heard once again Inuyashiki. I heard a lot of hype building around it from the subreddit, and so I checked it out, and the first episode was interesting because most at least if you're active in anime communities, you hear everybody just shit on CGI whenever it's present in an anime. They always complain how terrible it is, but this show is
Berserk 2017.
This show is a complete CGI show. The whole entire thing is done through CGI, and so if you're not used to that, watching the first episode is like, okay, this is kind of weird. It's something you're not used to, but at the same time, it kind of makes it a little more interesting. And then just building that on top of what occurs in the first episode just kind of builds your interest and makes you want to keep watching it.
No, let me just say this, because when I was watching this with my friend, right, it's so weird because all the characters are these like gem-like creatures.
They're made out of gems. They look like females,
but then they're genderless.
Because they're made by gems, so they look like females. But in the manga and sometimes in the anime, if you pay attention and listen, you hear them referring to themselves as boku, which is for the male version. So once you actually notice that, because you're not going to notice it right away, it kind of shifts your perspectives on how you view them.
No, you know what it is? I think I could find it right now. You know why it's having popularity? Why is it also ranked really high in the anime list?
Yuri.
Well, not only Yuri. It's like the low-key trap scene.
Oh, that too.
Everybody loves some good trap, right?
Yeah, everybody loves some traps, yeah.
Y'all fucking perverts.
Hey, man.
Well, I don't know, dude. Even the whole CG and 3D movement too. I don't know. I'm still not tuned to it. Maybe just Berserk 2017 gave me such a bad taste in my mouth.
I think it just takes time to grow on you. It took me about 2-3 episodes for me to stop paying attention to, just purely the CGI, having it constantly there for me, noticing before it kind of just dawned on me, and I'm like, oh wait, that's right, this show's made from CGI. So it just took time. I think if it doesn't bother you too much, I highly recommend you push through and finish watching the show. This was, I'd say, one of the top favorites, if not the top of r/anime's show of the season.
There you go, Reddit certified. But then I can't fucking certify it. Oh, I don't know, dude. It's hard for me. I can't get past episode 3 for some fucking reason. How about what else? What else did you watch?
So I still got a few. One of the ones I want to bring up, which was my favorite, was Konohana Kitan. So I saw him like I like slice of life, seems sort of interesting. So I'll check it out, and I ended up really loving the first episode. It's a really beautiful show to watch. The colors, the scenery, it's just very beautiful, and throughout the whole show, it's just an emphasis on being the slice of life, being like gentle in a way, and just the beautiful scenery and everything like that. It's just a beautiful show. So if you're ever looking for a show where you should just kind of want to like sit down, forget about your day, and just relax for the rest of the night, this was a really good show to watch for that.
How about 10 centimeters apart?
I never personally watched that yet.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, dude, it's like it has that feel of like those like really heart wrenching animes. Like it has that plot development for it. Like it could be like fuck. What am I thinking? I'm not GE. It's another like multi-love plot line. There's an anime a while ago, 2016, 2015. It's like it focuses on different lover groups.
Okay.
But then they're all friends. It reminds me of that.
I have a few that pop. I'm like not specifically for that.
So 10 centimeters apart is pretty much like that style of anime, where it's like there's multiple characters, multiple love angles, but then they try to center it on a singular character, which is the head of the movie club and the head of the art club. And then the whole gist is that they're always 10 centimeters apart. And the only reason why I was so interested in this anime, because there was a animated movie around 2015 that actually made me broke down in tears, called 10 how many centimeters apart, like similar tagline.
5 centimeters.
5 centimeters of
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Anyways, yeah, but that movie, I was like, ooh, is this like some anime adaptation? No, it's completely not. But it has that generic love plot line though.
I like the one thing you brought up for that in terms of this show, though, Konohana Kitan, is there's the main character, but at the same time it's focusing on the other characters, because they're all people that work. They're fox girls that work inside an inn, which is basically catered to providing like top exceptional service to the point where they're providing service to the gods themselves. The gods come, to take a break from the activities that they do to relax there. And so, they have regular people as guests, they have gods as guests too. So they try to just uphold the best service that they could provide. And so you have the main character. She goes there, she's a new unit. So she's trying to learn their ways of practicing. So she's the main focus throughout most of the show. But you're also going to get a lot of focus on the other characters. You're going to learn about them. You're going to learn that some of them, there's two characters in particular that have a relationship with each other. So yeah, there's Yuri. So if you're a big fan of fox, cute fox girls with Yuri, that's, pick it up. And there's no like bad like Yuri fan service. So there'll be scenes where they're in the hot spring, so they'll be naked, cover parts, but there isn't really very explicit fan service. So if that's something that turns you off, I don't think it'd be too much of an issue for this show.
All right, so so this next anime is an anime that I personally don't watch, but I'm pretty sure you might have watched it because you're a fucking monitor of Reddit, because this is memeing it up everywhere. Blend S.
Oh yes, I watched Blend S. So Blend S, the main character is she's a Japanese high school girl, what happens is she's just fixated on foreign countries. She has gaijin fever basically. But one of the issues she has...
So your dream girl?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
So basically what happens is she, when she tries to smile, her face just has this natural, like, glare. Like she's, like, looking down on you kind of glare. That's just her natural face. So what happens is she meets this foreigner who lives in Japan and runs a cafe. And he falls in, it's a comedy show, like over-the-top stuff. So, he falls in love with her. And gives her a job, and she accepts it, like, oh, I work for a foreigner, right? But the catch is the shop is catered towards otakus or weebs. So each of the maid that works there has a certain character type that they that they work through. So, since she has a really black glare, she's given the
That's
like a sinister, sinister persona, which is complete opposite from her because she's like the most gentle-hearted person in that whole entire shop. And then there's another worker who's a tsundere. There's another one. She's a lolly, really small girl. But the catch is she's actually the oldest maid worker there. But she's she's a weed too. She's really into anime and stuff when she acts herself. And she can act like really stuck up at times too. But when she's working, it's funny because she was given the little sister character type. So she goes from being, trying to be this mature, sophisticated girl to like acting like a little girl for her work. So it makes it really funny.
So the opposite of working plot.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, working is like the plot line of working is this guy, he sees a girl who looks like she's like fucking 14 years old, but she's like, 28 years old, working in the fucking cafe.
Yeah. It's a good show. There's a lot of, it's funny. If you're really into like comedy and stuff, I highly recommend this show.
Oh, and I just realized that we kind of strayed off from the question, which is like the first episode carrying, like, was the first episode sold you on the anime?
For this particular show?
Yeah.
No, I don't take it as a shoujo anime at all. I think it's just, one of those another comedy type moe shows. And so the first episode, it pretty much kept on track. The quality of the first episode and the comedy kind of stayed in line throughout the whole show. There might be a few jokes here and there that you might get tired of because it's always repeated. But they do often, later on in the show, bring up new jokes and new things to keep the show interesting. All
right, you know what's... Okay, this next anime that I'm talking about, kind of had a good start, but now it's kind of slow. And that's Black Clover.
I didn't watch that one.
Okay, so Black Clover is... Well, it's still ongoing. And it's supposed to be the next wave of shonen anime, right? This is supposed to be the Boku no of the season.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and this is... So I messed with Black Clover since I first found it in manga form I think 2 years ago. But yeah, and in the general plotline is literally the generic shonen plotline of like I think the way I describe it, right, is like you get bad form of Naruto and then bad form of like Fairy Tail combined. The art style and animation style is actually just legit Fairy Tail too. Like the main character looks like the same main character from fucking Fairy Tail, and his IQ is just as retarded as Naruto.
Hey, there we go.
But just like Naruto, he's blessed with the OP power
of believing it.
And then his best friend and natural rival is just really smart and really OP, aka Sasuke. But yeah, and it's so weird too because the anime made a couple of adaptations from the manga, and I don't know how I feel about it because one of it is that they made the kind of like the second, like the main female character of the anime extra bitchy, and that's why the first episode of the anime I loved it because I love the manga, and then I was like, oh fuck, I am hyped for shit, and then they make it worse and worse for every fucking episode. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. But it's confirmed that this anime is 51 episodes long.
Ooh, that's a long downhill to go.
And sparks our discussion question for this podcast. A lot of animes now are like 12 episodes, 24 episodes. We haven't had it and most of them usually like go to season 2 too.
It's there's only very few occasions we've had more than 2 core shows for airing. Mm-hmm. The last one I can recall is Sosei no Onmyoji, which was last year's summer.
Yeah, like we never have like a really strong we don't have like Naruto or like a Bleach or a One Piece or like continuous long form animes, right? So actually that's what I want to talk about. How do you feel about shorts, so I'm calling it like short version animes versus like long recurring animes?
Well, my personal preference is the short term anime. That being is when you look at those long term shows, you sit there, you're looking at like that's a really big hill to climb. Mm-hmm. Like you look at One Piece, Naruto, those are hundreds of episodes, and
I still say One Piece should always be anyone's anime watch list.
Yeah. So you hear great things about it, and it's really tempting to pick it up. But when you look at it, and it's like that's just a huge time investment. I don't know if I have the capabilities to put that. Because the reason why I love short term is, I could watch while airing shows are doing it. I average around 15 airing shows a season. So, if they're all around one core, that means once that season's over, I finish all those shows in one time, and then I could pick up a whole new set. So it allows me to watch a large amount of shows in a shorter amount of time. Because if I were to watch a long show, it would take me months, and I would be dedicated solely to that show. I feel I wouldn't have time to diversify what other shows I'm watching.
Yeah, it's for example, if you were tried to catch up to One Piece on its 800 episode, you need to, and you're starting from episode 1, you have to commit at least 10 episodes a fucking day and do for like 80 days.
Yeah.
Which I did, because I don't like my life and I love One Piece.
If you have the free time, I say go for it.
So it's interesting too, because like in certain animes, I don't mind short term, right? If they could conclude a plot quick and simple, then go for it, right? I feel like there hasn't been an anime recently that I'm just like, I need fucking more, or like I need it to be more than 12. Well, actually, I can think of some actually, but they get season 2, season 3s.
I think it's more of, in my terms, it shows if I need more, or when I say, oh, this anime needed more than 12 or 24 episodes, it's not more in the fact that it's like, I really, really want more because it's so good. I think of it more in the context like, I really wish they had more time to work on this so they could really have built what happened already. Mm-hmm. Like build and detail it further than what it got. Because like there's some shows like, 12 episodes, so they got to do a lot of cuts. They got to do... they got to do some skips. They can't go flesh out everything. And you feel like, yeah, it was a good show, but it could have just been so much greater if they were just given that extra set of episodes they could have done.
Actually, there's actually an anime I really enjoyed last year that actually had this exact problem, which was Gates, or JDSF Gates.
I haven't personally watched it.
So JDSF Gates are the Special Japanese Forces Japanese Special Defense Force, Self-Defense Force, Gates. It's a anime where this other world they created a portal to our current world, and we just literally fuck shit because we have guns versus like they have swords and shit. But anyway, that anime, the reason why I say it has an issue because they legit rushed season 2, and like they only had enough budget to make another 12 episode series, and they actually just straight up cut the story in half. Like I felt there's obvious points in that season 2 where they could expand it way more, but they're like, well, we don't got the budget and we don't got time. Fucking cut it. We're just gonna end it right here. We're gonna make it an obligatory ending that I guess some people might like, and boom, here, have it. And I know, like maybe it's a budgeting issue for some animes, right?
Yeah, budgeting issue is always a big factor for anime.
Which is so weird too. Like, I think the weirdest one was like, usually the argument is when you have to make new seasons rather than just continuously going is we need more developing stories. We're having budgeting, or we want to improve something, right? Mm-hmm. But Attack on Titans, they did exactly none of that.
That's true, and it's still an insanely popular show.
Attack on Titan season 1 was the popular anime of that fucking year.
Yeah.
That it implemented a huge otaku wave, but season 2 took actual forever, and it was a shitty. And it came out like 3 years after season 1 came out, and they improved nothing. The manga is so far ahead too. Even when they made season 1, that it made no sense.
I haven't watched season 2 yet. I still need to get on that. Good. But I think one of the term misconceptions people have with budgets, from my understanding, is they assume anything that's popular in the Western anime viewers is, just because it's super popular there is guaranteed gonna get a season 2. It's like, oh, this should play a factor. But the truth is, the budgeting, what determines, the next season is how much an anime sells.
Yeah.
And that's all, anime studios, they're not looking at trying to accommodate to the Western audiences. Their main focus is their Japanese audience because that's where they're going to make the bulk of their money.
And especially because like Westerners have a big problem with like torrenting animes or using anime sites like AnimeFreak.tv and other non-supportive sites rather than using supportive sites like Crunchyroll and buying the raw DVD.
Well, there's also issues with legal streaming sites too, like Crunchyroll. You're paying such a low amount of fee. So only a fraction of the price
Yeah,
is
it
going
goes
to
to the actual studios.
So if you're interested, if you have a show you love and you really want to contribute and give money to the show, the best way for you to do that is to buy merchandise. Because if you buy merchandise for that show, whatever you're buying, that fund's going all to, the anime studios. Granted, the merchandise isn't cheap. Yeah, but if that's why you got to make sure it's something you really want to invest your money into.
It'd be great if these anime companies just made figurines rather than contracting third parties.
Oh, but they do.
So some of them do.
Yeah,
most of them are like third party figurines though.
Yeah. But figurines do take a lot of time to make, and just trying to design it,
Yeah,
I've seen figurines where like they'll put out a sneak peek, and, it's just like, oh, this is an idea, and just like, I really want that.
Hey man,
and then like sometimes it doesn't come out for years after that.
Monster Musume did it right. They made a fucking life-size body pillow.
Life-size, what was it? 500.
So it's a life size of the snake chick and the centaur chick, and then the snake chick was like 5 feet tall.
Yeah, it was on. It's a very long pillow.
Yeah, like, and it is so like hotcakes. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting. Like, that's gonna be super expensive. Not Dockies are expensive themselves, especially the looter they are, the more expensive they're gonna be. But imagine having a lewd 5 or like a really long Docky.
Yeah, like,
can't imagine the price.
The size
on those.
of your queen size bed taken up right there. Trying to explain that to your parents, or like your parents, listen to me, man. But yeah, no, it's so yeah. Like, going back to the original topic, like, it just feels so weird. Like, I don't remember a time where we have another long recurring animes besides like Gintama, One Piece. I think that's the only animes that are just currently on.
Out of like long-term animes, I can't really think of any out of the top of my head besides One Piece and Gintama.
Yeah, like usually it's just a 12 or 24 and done, or like they'll get a season 2.
Season 2, yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah,
and then season 2 will be like, Shokugeki no Shoma is 2 seasons of 24 episodes, and
then there's a third season coming out. Same thing with Tsurugatsu no Lion is about 24 episodes, I believe, for the first season, and the current season is we're at the halfway point for the second season right now, so that's a continuing airing show, which is also, I think, predicted to be 24 episodes. But it's very, that's not very common for for shows to extend past that nowadays.
Yeah, and it also like goes to your point too. Like, you touched up where like it's hard to invest. So like trying to catch up or even invest to like these animes that are continuously recurring, like One Piece. Like I said, 800 episodes. Gintama, they have 3 different seasons, but they're like hundreds of episodes each.
Yeah, you also have to take into account, you really, if you're gonna invest that amount of time into creating a long-term anime, you need to make sure what you're adapting has enough material in order for you to do that, or you're left with a lot of filler episodes, or if there'll be like some cases
Naruto syndrome. Yeah,
Naruto syndrome, or some cases where the anime is forced to stray off the manga because they've already adapted everything that was there, and so they had to create an anime original ending.
That's why like Gate season 2, for example, that's actually the point, actually what happened. See, that they made a season 2, only half of the season 2 was actually in the manga. The manga took a giant hiatus, and after the anime became popular again, they actually made enough money to like start the manga again, but then the anime had to completely do something new, but then they're like, oh, we only got enough budget for 12 episodes, so we got like make a fast ending too. And so I was like, come on, man. But yeah, and that's why Black Clover is gonna be really interesting, because if it's 51 episodes recurring, right? It's like there's 20 episodes right now, and this is gonna be the first actual long recurring anime we had in quite a long time, actually. But let's hope it's not Bleach. Like, it won't be Bleach level where no one's gonna like it anymore. They're gonna run out of money, and they're gonna have to shut it down.
Stop it completely.
I know the manga of it is really fucking popular. Like, in like top 5 shonens in Japan is like Boku no One Piece, Black Clover's one of them, and there's another popular shonen. damn, I can't think of these in the top of my head for some reason. But yeah, like they're popular shonens, but in the anime doesn't really translate. Like the reviews for Black Clover, for example, not that high. It's actually below a lot of people's radar, and even to a lot of people, it's not that good anymore. Not that good, but in the manga's great.
Yeah,
I would recommend reading the manga to anyone.
Yeah, because it's also, it's one of those cases where, let's say you read a book, and then that book in the future gets a movie adaptation, right? At least from my experience from books I've read before watching the movie, almost 100% of the time I was kind of disappointed in the movie, because they can't always, it's impossible to get 100% complete adaptation. You can have cases where you could get really, really close. Unless, you're like One Piece, when you got like 900 episodes, you kind of had the time to get a full adaptation going.
Only one filler arc that only lasted 2 episodes. But then the way they cheat is that they make one page fight scene into like a whole 2 episodes.
Yeah, there's a lot of cheating that you can do when it comes to adaptation, trying to flesh things out. Especially for shonen when it comes to fight scenes.
Hell yeah. I want that 1 chapter fight scene into at least 5 episodes.
I'm looking at you, Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, actually Dragon Ball Super is kind of long right now. I think...
Yes, there is. I'm not sure if it's finished. I know last season I've seen people watching it.
No, it's not finished. It's still occurring.
I've heard good things about that.
Yeah,
I haven't looked into them. I haven't heard too much, but I've heard good things about it.
There you go. That actually set my mind, because Dragon Ball Super came out this year, but now it's like really early on January. No, I think it was actually last year.
It came out last year.
Yeah, last year for winter.
I don't know the specific season it came out.
But yeah, it came out. I remember just last year though. But yeah, that's a recurring anime. But that's Dragon Ball. Like that's like
everybody loves Dragon Ball.
Like the thing is, like, I don't think we can even. How can we even count Dragon Ball for being a recurring anime when it started as a recurring anime?
That's true.
Yeah. So I guess like Black Clover would be the newest title to a recurring anime. But you know what I would totally be down for a recurring anime? That they need to goddamn do it right? Berserk.
Oh, man. You're just asking for trouble.
Don't give me Berserk 2017. Don't give me Berserk 2015. Don't even give me that Netflix garbage. Give me some good old Berserk done right.
I feel like every time there's Berserk fans are like, oh, hey, did you hear? There's a new adaptation. I think they're at the point where they're just like,
we're ready for our beating. Yeah. We'll watch it, but we're ready for our beating.
They've already given hope on getting a good adaptation at this point.
Mm-hmm. All right, so wrapping up the podcast, I would like to say like what we usually do, but this is like, I only done like 3 of these now. Oh, like 3 of these anime podcasts. Anime recommendations. New year, new people, and holiday time. Technically, like holiday times. So our theme for a recommendation is about a character, like a personal change that a character has to go through, or family based. You have a spicy one that I totally like agree with yours.
It's fairly new to came out in summer 2016. So this show is called Amama to Inazuma, or the English translates to Sweetness and Lightning. And so what this show is about is there's a single parent, this dad, he's a teacher, and what happened is he has a young infant daughter that he's taking care of because his wife died. I think it was in an accident. And so when we start off the show, we're at a point where he's still trying to find a way to cope with the death. It's been some time. I think maybe I feel like it was around a year. He's still trying to learn, how to live without his wife, and trying to learn, how he could be the best of father to his child. And so one of his issues is he doesn't have that great of cooking skills. So what ends up happening is he's constantly going to the convenience stores and just buying, the pre-made food there and giving that to his daughter. And then, one day he realized, like, his daughter misses, the mother's cooking. His daughter misses having a home-cooked meal.
The line that almost fucking cracked me in tears.
Yeah, the show hits a few heartstrings throughout
Daddy, when's mom coming back?
Yeah. So like he decides, he wants to become a better father for his child. And what happens is one of his students invites him over to a restaurant for dinner. And it's her family's restaurant. Her mom's actually a famous, popular chef. She's constantly going on TV shows for interviews. So when he goes there, they're closed, and what he finds out is they're closed a lot. And a lot of the times, his student is eating there alone because I believe the dad wasn't in the picture, and because the mom's such a popular chef, she's always constantly traveling. And so eventually, the student offers the dad, hey, why don't you come over here? I think it was like once a week, your daughter, to give your daughter home cooked meals, and at the same time, we could both, you could learn how to cook. And so that's basically what the show revolves around, just this dad trying to, with the help of his student, trying to learn how to cook and, provide decent meals for his daughter. And just, and you also get aspects of him developing his parenting skills. There's a lot of sweet moments between him and his daughter, like father-daughter moments. It's a really sweet show.
Yeah, and he learns the value of good home cooking and how much he loves his daughter.
Yeah.
And also the student changes on being more active, I guess.
The student becomes more active and more, if you want to delve into the manga right here, there's kind of like a relationship thing kind of building in the manga, but the anime doesn't go anywhere near that.
Oh yeah, baby. The genre of the anime is just slice of life.
Slice of life.
Slice of life.
It's very cute. The daughter's just, she's so cute.
Oh my god, if we can't sell you on this anime enough, you could go YouTube a clip, Sweetness and Lightning daughter sharks.
Sharks, yeah. So go to YouTube, search up Sweetness and Lightning, shark song. If that doesn't sell you, I don't know what. I think you just don't like cute things.
I'm gonna tell you now. I don't like a lot of moe animes, right? But when I saw that clip, I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what is this about, but I'm sold.
Yeah, my heart melted on that episode. I was like, this is just so nice.
If you don't feel for this anime, if you don't like feel for that scene especially, there's something not existing in your heart right now.
It's gotta at least touch you a little, that video.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, for my recommendation is a little bit more on the comedy pervert side, which is Takanashi family, or Papa no Ikoto wa Kiki Nasai. The plot of the story is that the main character and his sister, their parents died off at an early age when they were like kids. And the sister's like, oh, I'm gonna drop off my school shit so I could fucking support you. Because fuck all these like not actual family people. What you need is a family, and I'm your fucking family. Alright? So she spent her whole her life trying to raise the brother, and the plot fast forwards all the way to the brother's now in university and his sister got married. And then he hasn't seen his sister for a long time, and all of a sudden when he wakes up one day, he gets a knock on the door. He's like, oh, these 3 little girls are here. Like, what the fuck is this? Oh, these are my sister's kids. Okay, why are you here? Oh, my sister died.
Oh.
What kind of fucking starts that? So that's the summary of it, where he has to take care of the sister's kids in remembrance of his sister, and he enters in his will. But at first, how the anime goes is like, at first he's like kind of reluctant about it. He's like, I don't know if like I'm just like a university student, like I just started college.
Yeah, I would understand that.
Like I don't know if I could raise some kids. Also, these are not my kids; these are my sister kids, and I don't even know if I'm qualified for this right now. Like, what have I done in my life? I just like stayed home and did homework and shit. But yeah, like, and so the character slowly changes in like how he becomes more like training like to be like a sister. Like one of the episodes in anime, he literally just has an epiphany like, why am like, what do I need to help provide for these kids? Oh, I need to think about my sister. My sister, she gave up everything so she could raise me so I could have a good life.
Yeah.
So the best poetic thing to do is if I could give up most of my things so I could help these kids get a better life. Mm-hmm. And then, he gets helped by his club members from the university, and Jesus Christ, if I'm talking like kind of like side OP character, the club president of this anime is literally the most OP side character in anime history. Like not like in terms of like power, but this club owner knows like everything, everyone. Like this guy hooks the main character with a job, with like tax forms and everything. Like this guy, like this is, and also he's like a kind of chubby, like nerdy pervert guy.
Yeah,
dude, he knows everybody.
he knows
Like
everything.
he even knows he's on a fucking like text message basis with the principal of the fucking university. Like holy shit, like this guy, like it makes no sense. But yeah, and then it does get a little bit perverted. And it's for like the obvious like tropes of like, oh my daughters are changing, oh shit, well, or my sister's kids are changing, oh whoops, I actually saw.
Oh
But
yeah, you can't you can't have an anime without your tropes.
Yeah, like it has like all your like kind of like ecchi tropes, but that's really as far as the ecchi goes. It tries to really implement the idea of a father daughter relationship, but from an angle that this is not his daughter. And that's why I kind of like this anime in that it's not a traditional family anime, but it becomes a family anime. And also like the kind of the climax point of the anime too is also very rewarding. Any final remarks and any final words, Holmes? Or
No, I don't think I had. I think we covered most of the, probably a few shows from last season that we skipped over that I could have talked about more, but we covered the popular ones and my personal favorite, so I think we're good.
All right, and if you guys have an issue with that, I don't care. This is my podcast. I mean, you could like write your hate comments and actually make me feel like I am doing something in my life, but not many people actually do comment on this. I'm just doing this because I like to do this and for fun. Anyway, and for that, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you, Holmes.
Happy New Year's.
Any New Year's resolutions?
I'm actually gonna cut back on how much anime I watch because I'm gonna try to read more VNs and light novels.
What blasphemy is this?
I'm sorry. I love reading and
Excommunicated from
I just have such a large backlog of VNs and light novels that I want to try to clear up this year before I pick up more airing shows.
Sorry, did we say current admin of Reddit anime?
Nah, none of the moderators on r/anime watch anime. You know, we're just there to be Nazis.
Oh, okay. And before excommunicated by the community.
Nah, they all know it.
But yeah, so thank you all for listening. As always, you could follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and you could listen to these on either YouTube or SoundCloud at The Chonation. You have to Google YouTube Chonation, or you could type in, when you go to YouTube, type in The Chonation, unless you're looking from the direct link from Facebook or Twitter. So anyways, thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Morty, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and see you all next time.